marketing RFI.
Good afternoon. I would like to call to order the July 23rd, 2025 OCVB meeting. Susan, can you please take roll call?
Heather Patterson.
What, I'm sorry.
Heather Patterson.
Was it me? Oh, no.
Kelly Perano.
Present.
Don Dietrich.
Also present.
Patrick McGeehan.
Present.
And Kurt Patel. Jason Crady. Amy Corrigan. And Councilmember Bibb.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'll start over on that. So we are going to wait on the approval of the agenda and the approval of the minutes. We are going to wait until the final number of our members are here and arrive. So what we're going to do is go right into our discussion items, and we will start with the number 2, which is the updates from the O'Fallon tourism venues, which we will start with Nina D'Angelo with the museum, the Veteran Museum. Hi, Nina.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. I want to introduce Jill Alexander. She's a board member of the museum and also the chair of our marketing committee. I brought her here today because this is my very first meeting post-op, and I'm still on schedule too. So sometimes I forget to say things, or you guys will ask me a question and maybe I'll go blank. So she's here for moral support. Let's just put it that way.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Okay, so let's get started. I'll have them put the PowerPoint up so you guys can see it. Maybe. Can you see it over there?
In a minute, I think. Yep, yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, as you can see, this is a 2026 marketing strategy plan presented to the O'Fallon Convention and Visitors Bureau. We're honoring veterans, driving tourism, and inspiring generations. So as you guys know, one of our favorite phrases is no one is ever gone as long as we have memories of them. So our mission is that we honor, preserve, and share the stories and artifacts of U.S. military veterans. As you know, we started in St. Charles County as the St. Charles County Veterans Museum. We have since branched out into Mid-America, so it's more of a regional effort now than it was before. Our vision is we want to establish Mavim as a premier cultural destination within a 5-hour driving radius of O'Fallon, Missouri. Our request today is for $92,500 in funding so that we can start an aggressive marketing plan, which I'm going to outline here for you. Why support Mavim? For impact. We want to amplify regional awareness. We want to increase visitation by 35%. There are other numbers that we're going to get into, which will explain that 35% on a further slide in. And then drive economic growth. For legacy. Preserve and share veteran stories and artifacts as a national responsibility. And then an economic benefit to the area, to O'Fallon, is to boost hotel stays, restaurant traffic, and local tourism, and become a local tourism venue, as well as support other local tourism venues while those participants are here visiting the museum. Some of our current achievements. We did secure a $10,000 Google Ads grant. This happened earlier in the year. We're working through what that looks like. So that's really fantastic. Also, doesn't cover Facebook or any of the social media platforms, which is why we're asking for some of this additional funding as well. Also doesn't cover, Google doesn't cover anything other than what you do inside Google. So we do have an annual calendar of micro engagement events for 2026, which I'm super excited about. Which means micro events, in case you're wondering what that means. It means events that we're going to have on property at the museum to drive people into the area and into the museum to see what we got going on over there. High impact events planned, You guys know we do a gala every year. We have a music bingo event every year. This year, coming up in 2026, is the 5-year anniversary of the Fallen 13. That's the Abbey Gate, Kabul, Afghanistan, which we all know our local veteran Jared Schmidt was involved in. So we're going to have the dog tag wall come back in 2026 to commemorate that 5-year anniversary. So we will have an event, a big, large-scale event around that as well. Some of the objectives we have, primarily, we're looking to increase our visitation by 35%. We typically have roughly, over the last 2 years, we've had about 2,000 visitors to the museum. We're hoping, and I was real conservative with these numbers, y'all, because this is my first time doing this, so here we go. So we're hoping to increase that to 2,700 annually. We want to promote overnight stays, so we're going to promote overnight stays at local hotels, which means we're going to go out and develop partnerships with some of our local hotels. We want to grow our donor base, obviously. We want to grow it by 20% right now. Honestly, I can't really tell you without going back. Since I've been on medical leave, I haven't had a chance to look at these numbers, so I apologize, but I would have to go back and look and see what we actually get each year in donations so that you would have a base number to go off of. But know that the key is to try to increase that by 20%. We want to be a top destination. The secondary goals, we want to be a top destination. We want to position the museum as a top heritage tourism destination. And then obviously we want to drive local spending where throughout our partnerships with restaurants, boutiques, hotels. Other museums, there you go, things like that. So any questions so far? I'm totally open to questions while we go through this. Okay, here we go.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
As far as promoting that, what does that look like with the hotels and the local spending and all of that? When you say that, what will be the incentive for those businesses to collaborate with you?
Well, in order to increase their revenue as well, right? So we're going to put together packages. We're going to see who wants to come on board with us with this, and then we will sit down and create those packages around whatever that looks like that benefits us and them. But this is very fluid right now, but these are the things that, that we plan to do within this marketing budget that we're asking for. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Great. All right, our target market, veterans and their families, regional tourists and heritage travelers, event attendees, obviously, that come to our events, school groups and educators. Actually, I'll just do a real quick side note. We are working on building a curriculum that is Missouri State approved so that we can help the education system here in the state of Missouri actually use us as a tool within the history segment. Obviously, military history enthusiast. And then, thanks to Jill, we added I-70 travelers in yesterday because she's like, what about the people that are just driving through here and they need to get out of their car and stretch their legs for a couple of hours? And I was like, that's great. Thanks, good for thinking of that. So those people as well. Programming and visitor strategy. So the Fallen 13 weekend, we're going to do that in August. The anniversary is?
August 26th.
August 26th. When we did this, did we do it last year? In 2024, we had about 600 attendees at this event. I'm being really conservative and saying we're going to draw 300 to 400, and I hope we do more. But I'm going to be real conservative and say we're looking at about 300 or 400 visitors for this event. We do have a gala that we do in November and then a music bingo event in May. Those are our staple fundraiser events that we do. We do get roughly 280-ish at both of those events. And then the monthly micro events, we're hoping to bring in 20 to 25 attendees at each month into those events that we put on next year. So visitor growth projections, 15 to 20 new visitors a month via digital ads. That would be fantastic. 5 to 10 visitors a month via tourism listings, press, and influencer coverage. And the reason why we included press and influencer coverage is because we have a mixed audience, if you will. We have a lot of the older generation that likes things on paper. They like to hold things and look at things. And then you have the younger generation who likes to get on TikTok and Facebook and all those interweb socials and see what they're looking for on that. So that's why we included both in there. Some of our core initiatives would be to expand regional awareness, and we would do that through paid digital ads, PR outreach, partnerships, which we talked about, and then travel brochures as well. Some community engagement that we're going to look at is large-scale events, which is our gala and our music bingo, and then it'll be the Fallen 13 event for next year, and then those micro events that we plan on having. Hospitality relationships, so we want to do co-branded promotions with those partnerships. And then also we will put a preferred lodging listing for those who are willing to partner with us on our website, so that when people are coming to our events and they're coming from out of town, they know where they can stay for maybe a discounted rate or for some sort of benefit. The digital reach is social media campaigns, freelance travel influencers, and some email marketing as well. Here is the budget breakdown. This is really how we plan on spending the money and what areas we plan to spend it in. Geographic targeting. Do you guys want to see that some more? Do I need to leave that up there for you a little longer? Yes. There you go.
You all have a copy of it in your.
Exactly.
Yes, I gave everybody a
have a
copy of
copy.
this, yes, as well as the proposal itself. Okay? All right, geographic targeting. So we did talk about earlier about how we want to reach out to a 5-hour driving radius of O'Fallon, and so that would include Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Iowa, Indiana, and Arkansas, and some of these more populated cities within will be some of the targeting that we'll use to send the promotions out to. Our timeline overview, this year, quarter 3 and quarter 4, we're going to be creating the message. What is it we're putting out there? We're going to develop it, and then we're going to start an early outreach campaign. In quarter 1 of 2026, we're going to launch some campaigns. This could be Google ad campaigns, maybe some Facebook campaigns, some social media campaigns, to start promoting those earlier events within the year, like the music bingo that happens in May. Quarter 2, major push for the Fall and 13, obviously, and travel season promotions. People that are coming out for the summer that want to maybe have a roadmap down I-70 of where they're going to stop. We want to be one of those stops. Quarter 3 of 2026, major event push for our gala, and then for the remainder of the micro events for the rest of the year. And then obviously quarter 4 is going to be an end of year campaign and some reporting that we can put out there so that people can see what we're doing. Expected outcomes, again, a 35% increase in visitation, 300 to 400 visitors during that Fall and 13 weekend, growth in regional awareness and hospitality partnerships, and boost in donor contributions and email signups. Here's our community collaboration, hotel partners, so co-branded promotions, discounted rates, and some cross-promotion. Veteran organizations, event invitations, storytelling opportunities. There's no better way to get veteran stories in a veteran story museum than to partner with other veteran organizations, correct? And then some recognition programs for being partner with us as well. And then the micro events that we're going to host can be free or discounted, can have free or discounted venue access and joint outreach. So the conclusion is, why now? 2026 is a critical window to build momentum and create sustainable growth. It also marks the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which is making it a pivotal year for patriotic destinations. Honestly, there's no better time than now for the museum to step in and market itself as heavy as we can so that we can become that premier destination across the country. Not only across the region, but across the country. See that? I went big. I went real big there. All right, call to action. Support Mavin's campaign to honor veterans, drive tourism, and inspire future generations. This is how you can get a hold of us. You can either contact me or contact Jill with this information here. Any questions?
Any
Come on, I didn't do that good, did I?
Nina?
Come on, y'all.
Okay.
Is this $92,500 a one-time request?
So the thought process behind that is, and I answered this in an email, and I don't know if it was shared with you guys, is we need to start somewhere. When we start to outreach into other communities, we will be asking for funding. Do we plan to come back to OCVB and ask for this year after year? Not this dollar amount, absolutely not. We're going to lean on other communities within not only St. Charles County, but within the region to help us get where we need to go. We just need something to start with right now.
Thank you.
Nina, one of the line items in the budget is campaign consultant for $20,000.
Yep.
Can you talk about that a little bit more and explain
Sure.
what that is?
So I am in collaboration right now with a marketing company. I've been in consultation with 2 of them up to this point. And because I'm a one-man band over there, and I do have volunteers, they're all They're not savvy to do the marketing part of it, except Jill. I also
And I'm
don't,
also new to the board.
she's been with me all of about maybe 2 months. So I do plan to hire some part-time work to help with that. So, yeah.
And do you have a clear as to what those individuals would be doing for you?
Yeah, if you look in the proposal itself, let me find it. I'll tell you what page it's on.
Well, I see on page 9, kind of notes.
Yeah.
Covers strategy, creative, ad management, and reporting and adjustment of campaigns on the go.
They're going to do some A/B testing as well, because I don't know how to do that kind of stuff. That's not my wheelhouse, right? So why not? I need somebody who knows what they're doing to come in and do A/B testing to find out what's working for us and what's not as well. So this, like I said, this is very fluid, and we're really just kind of figuring it all out right now, because the museum has never done a major marketing campaign ever, and we're never going to get known if we don't start asking for some help. That consultant also, Patrick, to answer your question, is they're going to help with the Google Ads grant that we have as well, because that's also another very specialty thing that you have to have knowledge on how to push that out and make that lucrative and actually work for you. I don't have that. So.
Now, would this person, they're not responsible for the meeting with the hotels or the others, those in the
No,
community?
that would be on
Would that
me.
be something that you'll be doing?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
I'll
So
be
that's
handling
more
that.
in-house.
I'm sure there'll be board members that will hop on that to help with as well. So
Okay.
for sure,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions for Nina?
Sure.
Who else are you asking for to help supplement this budget?
So I haven't gone out and asked any others yet. I will tell you, this is not an excuse, but I want you to know that I have been out. I have been out on medical leave since June. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And this came to be right before I went out. So I scrambled to get something put together, to be completely honest with you. And us going out to other communities is definitely on our radar. We just haven't had a chance to do it yet.
Okay. Thank you, Nina. I appreciate it.
You bet. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're, oh, never mind. Patrick has the question.
No, well, it's not a question, it's a comment.
Yes, sir.
We do really appreciate the time and effort that you did put into this night. I mean, this is a very detailed request, and this is the kind of information I think that we need to get and see and be able to digest as we consider these budget allocations. So I just wanted to say thank you for all the time and effort you put into this. You know, my thought at this point would be that we take this under advisement. You know, we've got our budget meeting next month, and that's probably when we will be taking this up. So just, and I'm sure as we get a chance to read through this more, we'll have more questions and follow up after.
Yeah, and I'm happy to answer those. So you can just shoot me an email or call me. Yeah, for sure.
But thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Jill.
You too.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and back up into our agenda here. And we're going to go back to the approval of our agenda. If there are no changes or additions that anyone would like to make, I need a motion and a second to approve it as presented.
Motion by Pirano.
Second, McKeon.
Okay, and then next on to the approval, oh, sorry, I do this every time, I feel like. And then, yes, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, motion stands. Okay, and then the approval of the minutes from our last meeting, which was May the 28th, 2025. If there are no changes or additions that anyone needs to make, I also need a motion and a second to approve that as presented.
Motion to approve, Dietrich.
Second, McKeon.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion stands. Okay, we are now going to go into our first discussion item well, actually our second at this point. And this would have to do with the nomination and the election of the chair and the vice chair here for the OCVB. It is that time. And so we will start with the election of the chair. Are there any nominations at this time?
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate Heather Patterson as the chair for OCPB.
Okay, do we have any other nominations? Okay, we need a second on that.
I second that, Perano.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Okay, and then as far as the nomination of the vice chair, do we have any nominations by anyone?
I'd like to nominate Don Dietrich as the vice chair.
Great. I also would like to nominate Don too. So there we go. That makes that easy. All-
So you're doing the official second on that, is that correct?
I think so. Yes, exactly. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Why not?
I was like, I guess you have to accept it, right? Is that okay, Don? That's great.
If nominated, I will not accept. If
Yeah, exactly. Please, please.
I think you just got voluntold.
Exactly, exactly. And I'm looking at him like, you gonna say yes? Thank you, Don. We appreciate it. And thank you too as well. And then we will move on now to our third discussion item, which is the Rail District Festival update. So I think that'll be here. Okay, I was like, I didn't know which one of you guys was gonna get up. Both of you, yeah, absolutely. Come on up. Hi, ladies.
Hi, everyone. How's it going?
Hi, good afternoon.
I'm Rachel Page. I'm the Vice President at the O'Fallon Chamber, and we are super excited to talk about the second annual Rail District Festival that's coming up on September 6th in Civic Park, right here in the Rail District. It is going to be from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. In our first year of doing the Rail District Festival, which was last April in 2024, we realized that it was better to move it up a little bit earlier for the families. So that's why we moved it from 2 to 8 to 12 to 6 this year. This event is in partnership with the City of O'Fallon and the O'Fallon Community Foundation. The O'Fallon Community Foundation uses funds that are raised from this event to send officers to Police Week, and then also create scholarships for adults and children to participate in different activities at the Renaud Center. There's tons of different things that are going to be happening at the Rail District Festival. Like last year, there's a kids zone that's going to have inflatables for kids to come and hang out and jump on. The baby crawl race, which was a giant hit last year, is coming back this year. So I'm really excited about that. That was really fun.
Rachel, can I quickly ask, what is the age limit on the baby race? Because I've got a 15-year-old that's pretty quick, or 15-month-old. 15-year-old.
I was going to say 15-year-old. I don't know about that.
15
So
months.
the age range is 6 months to 12 months, so 6 months to a year, and they cannot get up and walk during the baby crawl race. So I guess there was a baby crawl race, not at the Rail District Festival. It's only been happening 1 year, but that somebody got up and walked for the very first time right at the baby crawl race and got themselves disqualified. But there's also going to be an O'Fallon talent show this year. We're going to have over 90 business and vendor booths, food trucks, a beer garden, and the lovely Krekel train will be there giving train rides. I think we printed 400 tickets last year. 500 tickets last year, and we literally had to go back to office and find tickets to give out. That's how many train rides were given. Yeah.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
About the baby crawl, the talent show, and the booths.
Yeah.
How do you get signed up for that, and how do you choose?
Absolutely. So the baby crawl race, there's an application online for the baby crawl race on the Rail District Festival page. Last year we were able to accept all of the babies that applied for the baby crawl race. If there were to be way too many, we could probably do a couple heats for the baby crawl race and then do the winners from each heat win the overall prize. But we didn't get to that point last year, but that would be definitely an option. You asked about the vendor booths? And the talent show. So the vendor booths, if they are a member of the chamber, they can have a booth at the Rail District Festival. And then we are also accepting applications for the vendor booths as well. We had a couple of people through our signature events committee go through those additional applications last year to pick. Most people that applied last year were able to get to be a vendor at the festival. We did limit for specific businesses that there could only be one type of business, like J. Bloom. There could only be one J. Bloom, which is very common for a festival. And then the talent show, we are going to be starting to advertise for people to come and, what's the word I'm thinking of? Thank you. Audition for the talent show. We will have judges that will, anybody can come in and audition. And then the plan, as it stands right now, is to bring the top 10 people from that audition to the festival that will then perform and then be have a panel of judges choose the winner from that.
Okay, is there a cost associated with any of these?
The vendor booth, the cost is $125 for a vendor booth. The baby crawl race is completely free to enter the baby. And the baby, whoever wins, gets a 4-foot tall trophy. At least that's what they got last year. It was hilarious having the baby sitting next to their giant trophy. And then the talent show, no, there is no cost. A huge part of this Rail District Festival is to have a family-friendly event. We want people in O'Fallon and St. Charles County to be able to come to this event and not feel like they're having to pay an arm and a leg to participate in different pieces of it. There are costs associated with different pieces, like the kids zone or the train rides, but there's also plenty of free things as well for families to enjoy. And then I think the last pieces I was going to mention are another big part of this festival is it's bringing attention to the Rail District. As a chamber and also with like the city, we're really wanting to make this area a vibrant area and show people that this can be an energy center of O'Fallon. And so that's partly where this Rail District Festival is coming from. And another reason that we pushed the ending time up to 6 is so we can encourage people to go out to the local businesses in this area and enjoy those local businesses after the festival. One of those, an example, is Goodwood. We're trying to work with them to do a after party at Goodwood where we can send people from the festival to go and enjoy something like live music and food over at Goodwood and get people to really see how awesome these businesses are in this area. I think a big part of it too is we had come to an OCV meeting, it was either late last year or early this year, and talked to you guys about the budget. But I just wanted to formally confirm that it was in the 2025 budget for the $5,000 for the Rail District Festival, that we are going to specifically use that money for marketing of this event. Social media ads is a really huge piece of what we use to market. We find that really works well for something like a festival. And then we would also use that money to create different banners and signage around town and then at the event specifically. And then I do want to thank the City of O'Fallon for just being such a great partner for this event. And then also our presenting sponsors who are BJC, Cry Distributing, and MasterCard this year for the Rail District Festival.
Nice.
Any questions?
Thank you, Rachel. And I don't have a question, but Kelly, would you be able to speak to the budget on the question that she has?
That's what I was just looking through on here. I had found the funds that we donated for last year's in 2024, but I don't know where we specifically budgeted in this year's budget. I do know we talked about it though, so I'll probably have to get back to you as far as where it's coming from. But you're right, I mean, it was for advertising. I just don't know if Jennifer has it within part of her advertising. But next year, I just want to make sure we put it in a separate line item. That is, you're planning on having one next year, right?
Yep. Okay. Yep. And that's actually Kathy wanted to.
Yeah, so something that Rachel, I'm so sorry, Patrick.
No, but before you start, I'm convinced that the $5,000 is in our 2025 budget. I think we had it under special events, but it's there somewhere.
I agree.
Yeah. We'll find it. We'll clear out our pockets.
I agree. I know it was there.
Any other questions about 2025 Rail District Festival?
No, I'm excited for it.
Okay, I do also want to invite all of you to come out to the 2025 Rail District Festival, September 6th in Civic Park, 12 to 6 p.m. I know Heather has a couple businesses that are going to be a part of it. So I highly recommend just coming out, bringing your family. It's a really fun event.
I think I misspoke. My grandson's actually 9 months old instead of 15 months old. So
Oh, then he can do it.
Then,
You're nine, aren't you?
yep,
Nine
he
going on
can be a
50.
part.
Regarding 2026, I just want to brag a little bit about Rachel's work that she did in 2024. We did have over 2,000 people come out to our very first Rail District Festival. And so you know how we did tally that is we actually had those, and they were really fun to click, those actual clickers that you click when somebody walks by. And we counted 2,000 from that, and there were people that we definitely missed, or volunteers maybe were not paying attention as they walked by. So we're really proud of that, and bringing this energy to that rail district. And then last year we were able to give the O'Fallon Community Foundation over $6,000 to launch their scholarship program for swim lessons and summer camp for youth in our community that receive free or reduced lunch. So we were really excited about that. I plan on 2,000 people coming again this year, but I think Rachel is better at guesstimating size, so I think we're definitely, we're probably going to be well over that, and I'm really excited about it, especially since we've been talking to Bluebell Ice Cream, who might have some treats for us. So I don't want to overpromise. But anyway, in 2026, we do plan on continuing the Rail District Festival. It will the plan is for it to always be the weekend after Labor Day weekend, so that it's consistent and it becomes that tradition in our community that celebrates our history and then also celebrates the businesses in our area, and growing every single year. I'm hoping in future years we're going to be able to close down some streets, maybe extend it some hours, extend it by some days. That's not going to be this year, but that's something that we are working towards. So in 2026, it would be really helpful and a show of great support if you were able to also support marketing for this event at $5,000, just the same amount in 2026 as this year.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, questions?
Do you have any questions? No? Okay, you're good.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. Of course. Thank you. Okay. We're going to move on to the update for the tourism and festivals. Hello there. Welcome.
All right, I'm used to being over there and not at the podium, so this is a little weird for me. I'm Mariah. I'm the festival specialist for tourism and festivals. Jennifer usually gives this report. She had a family emergency, so she's not able to be here today, so I'm stepping in last minute. Sorry if I can't answer your questions, but I'm going to do my best. First things first, she put it in all caps, so I think this is important to say. Thank you for your continued support. I'm going to go over Heritage and Freedom Fest, some numbers, kind of the highlights of what we had going on. So this year's festival was Thursday through Sunday, July 3rd through 6th, and it was really hot. It was really hot. It was full sun all weekend long, and it wasn't forgiving at all. So that was a lot of fun for all of us, and the people that attended, they were troopers. We had a lot of kids with red faces in the VIP area, but we pushed through it. Some of our highlights, we had a glass blowing demonstration on Entertainment Alley that was super cool, and we actually got to keep some of the pieces that he created. We have them in our office, and we're trying to figure out where we're going to display them around City Hall. We had the Dino Encounter. They stepped in last minute for the NASCAR experience that was unfortunately in an accident on their way to the festival, but they pulled it together like literally the day before we were supposed to open. They were on the road within an hour of us calling them, so that was great. The police dunk tank was another great hit. We had some of our council members that also got dunked, as well as our police department, and then we added the balloons in the parade. And those were a big hit as well. We had 3, I think they were 12-foot balloons that were carried by volunteers, and that was featured on the news channels 2 and 4. And then I think you guys all have this sheet in front of you with the numbers from this year, our revenue. So this year we are down about $9,400 from last year. So carnival, ice sales, parking, tent rentals, and parade entries and artist merchandise were down. We did have a few sections that were up in revenue. So our vendor application fee, electric, those were all up. I believe, where is it? Yep, so those ones we did increase from last year, but overall we did see a decrease. We're kind of attributing some of that to the heat. Also that this 4th of July landed on a 4-day or 3-day weekend this year. Instead of being during the week. So we saw a lot of people just in our lives that were at the lake or they were out of town over the weekend. And then I know last year St. Charles closed their fair down because of flooding. So I think we saw an uptick in our numbers last year, and then just having Brett Michaels last year as well. It was kind of an outlier of a year for us. So we're not counting it as a loss. I think we still did really well. It was a good success. Lots of people had fun. We heard lots of good things, but we are definitely taking notes for next year on like festival hours on a Sunday, if we choose to do that again, and entertainment and all that good stuff. Does anyone have any questions about numbers? I'll do my best to answer.
The numbers you presented here, appreciate that. This is the revenue side of the equation.
Yes.
Are we going to see the expense side?
So Jennifer has all of that. She has it all in our expense sheet and all of that, so she can get that to you. I'll make sure to let her know to send that over to you or to present it at the next meeting. But yeah, this is just the revenue side of things.
Yeah, if we could get that, if not before, at our August meeting, that would be great.
Yep,
Thank you.
I will let her know. And then the next page just shows some pictures of us, the balloons in our crew at the festival with our headliners, Neon Trees and Gabby Barrett. So just some fun pictures for you guys to see us in action there. And then that's all I have for the festivals report. If there's any other questions, comments?
There is a sort of a demographic diagram map here. Was this part of?
I don't think that's part of ours. I don't have that in my packet.
Oh.
I was like, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mariah.
Yep.
And then I'm assuming that you're going to also do the update for the Cultural Arts Commission side.
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for cultural arts, my first update is for OTW. So we had our production of Sixth, the musical teen edition, this past production, and it was great. I had the opportunity to go see it, and it was amazing. We had 2 weekends of shows. We sold a total of 1,287 tickets. That was 97.5% of our tickets. So we sold out, I believe, every single show except for the last Sunday matinee. That is record-breaking for us. We've never done that before. And it was a really good production. It was really fun to see. We are currently underway on The Curious Savage. Our directors are hard at work with that. We are going to do Dine and Discover again for that production. It will be on Saturday, September 6th, and the theme is hairstyles and hats. So we are encouraging our attendees to get dolled up and dressed in their best 1950s inspired attire. I believe that they are on sale already. If they are not, they will be soon. And then we just got our licensing rights for our holiday production, and that has been approved, so we will have an announcement coming for that soon. So keep an eye out for that. Next is our Fall Into the Arts update. The Cultural Arts Commission voted on our artist entries at the June meeting. We have 34 artists that have been invited to participate. I just got done putting balances on accounts and all of that good stuff last week. So hopefully that everyone we invited comes, but we will have official numbers on that about a month before, once we have everyone that's accepted and paid and all that good stuff. For galleries, we have our current exhibitions up at Krekel, Renaud, and City Hall. Those will be up until the end of August, so if you haven't checked them out, please do so. We have some really great artwork out. And then we do have our next 3 exhibitions booked and ready to go. So those will be in September. And then my last update is on hiring. Obviously, I'm giving this presentation instead of our cultural arts specialist because we currently still do not have one. Applications are open until the position is filled. We're hoping to start some interviews next week. But as of right now, that position is still open. So if you have anyone that may be interested or qualified, please encourage them to apply because we will keep that open until we have someone sitting in the cube next to me. Any questions about cultural arts at all?
Yes, the voted on entries at the June meeting. I kind of blanked out there. What was that again?
That was for Fall into the Arts artists. So we have artists, they send in their artwork, and then the Cultural Arts Commissions reviews it, and then they vote on who they want to be artist at the show. Since it is jured, and we do have someone, they vote. We have judges that go around and vote and all that good stuff. So they do vote on who is able to be at the festival, and then we choose, best in show, and then they get to come to the next year for free. So
And when again is that event?
that is on September 21st. It's a Sunday. Thank you. Yep. Anything
Thank you.
else?
I don't think so.
No? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, our next line item goes into our budget request process. As you know, we have kind of reviewed over what our budget request process currently looks like and have made a few changes to improve this, especially in light of some of the larger funding asks that we've had or requests that we've had recently. And so, Patrick, is that something that you could please speak to and explain to everyone what we're...
Sure, happy to.
Thank you.
Each of you have in front of you a copy of the original, I believe, funding request policy or guidelines that we had adopted years ago, and then a draft proposal for a new funding guidelines that I had presented at our last meeting, and since that time, asking for comments and feedback, and Kelly did provide some feedback and suggested changes to this. Those are marked in green on your sheet there. And so I am giving that we have already heard one request, well, actually two, technically two requests for 26 funding at today's meeting. I'm seeking or suggesting that we finalize and adopt this policy so we can begin to apply it to any future requests that come through. Ultimately, what I'm suggesting is that this become our official fiscal year 2026 funding guide policy, but it would serve as a guide to any group that would be requesting fundings for the remaining of this fiscal year.
Okay, great. And as we go over this, just so you know, I think what you have in green might not be in green on everybody's papers. It might just be a little bit of a lighter.
You should have a green version.
Okay.
Should have, I thought I handed out a green version.
Okay.
But I can
Not
go
a
over
problem.
those. You can see it in the other black and white copy of it. It'll be in the light gray. Will be the suggested changes.
Exactly. Okay. Makes sense. Does anybody have any questions when it comes to this? I hope everyone was able to review it since our last meeting when we, kind of presented this and the changes that have been made that were sent. Does anybody have any questions with those that were made? Or any would like to make any additional changes? Or have any questions? Okay. So then what I would like to do is to be able to, go ahead. Sorry.
May I make just one? Kelly and I did talk about this. One of her suggested changes in the application process section was that funding requests coming during the fiscal year, those applicants must be submitted in a formal proposal at least 60 days prior to the consideration. I originally had proposed 30. I think Kelly and I are agreeing that it should at a minimum 30 days, hopefully as soon as possible, but a minimum of 30 days. So in terms of what we would accept as a final vote on, we're suggesting that be 30 instead of 60.
Okay, I agree. Thank you. Anybody else?
The only other thing I was reading is in the last section, when it talks about reporting and accountability. The post-project evaluation assessment must be submitted or presented within 60 days after the event. I don't know if we can necessarily put 60 days, only because we have a period in time where there's more than 60 days between meetings. So can we just maybe reword that so it's at the next meeting, next one or two available meetings after the event? That makes sense?
Yes, but just to think this through, the requests for funding by the Mid-America Veterans Museum is an ongoing activity in a sense, so there's technically not an event. Would we want to? I mean, if they're holding an event, this would be applicable. If it's not, and there is not an event, but it's ongoing activity through the year, would we want to amend this or look at? I don't know.
And would that not be the same with the turf as well as the theater project? Because that's going to be something that is not an event as well. End of project, possibly.
Or even updates within long-term projects.
Maybe scheduled updates or
What if we require this show the effectiveness before applying the following year or something? Some of those will be reoccurring, right?
Maybe we could, instead of a post-project evaluate, maybe we could periodic evaluation assessing.
90 day.
Yeah.
okay, periodic evaluation.
Kelly, you were suggesting changing the timeline from 60 to potentially like 90 days?
Correct, only if something happens like in October, the next meeting's not until January.
January, yeah,
So that was,
you're right.
that was the only gap in the meetings.
Okay.
Or if we don't have a quorum, that's also going to set it back too, so.
Yeah, I think 90 days works there then in the case.
Okay.
So basically, just to change that to why don't we just put a project evaluation assessing the effectiveness of the funding and the overall tourism impact must be presented within 90 days after an event or
Project completion.
project completion.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I think we've done fine work on this, and I recommend that I make a motion to adopt the policy as amended.
All right. Do I have a second?
Can we change that last word from completion to like implementation or something? Because otherwise, if it's something that doesn't end, we want to know what the effectiveness was 90 days after they started, right?
Implementation?
Yeah, implementation.
Project implementation.
And then I'll second it.
Now that Member Bibb has made it even better than it was before,
That's right.
I make a motion
That's right.
for the adoption of the amended funding guideline policy,
All right. I like it.
effective January 1st, 2026.
Right.
And I'll
Okay.
second.
First, second. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Vote on it.
All in favor? I know. Let's remember to do that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Motion stands. Thank you. All right. We're going to move over to budget. Miss Kelly, please.
Now that we know how to ask for money.
Yeah. Now we got to. Exactly.
Okay, so I gave you a lot of stuff. What came to the packet or in the agenda originally was just an update with some historical information. And then On the packet, I went back and said, let's detail out where we started last year. So we have a 2025 approved budget. We have what was carried over. We have what was amended, and then any transfers that were done. And so then that gives us to the 2025 amended budget with carryover column. So that shows you where the 2025 money is right now. So hopefully, if you have any questions, let me know. Then I put in there the year-to-date numbers as of the 16th of July. And then I kind of talked to a few people, made a couple of assumptions, and I have the 2025 projected numbers. A couple of the changes that were made is, I talked to Jennifer Hoisington about the technology system that we were looking to get last year. It was improved in this year's budget. When they went out to get an actual quote, it was double what we had budgeted. So they're scrapping that, and they're going to go back and see what else they can do or come up with. Then the other thing, we have not purchased any artwork for this year, but I have that highlighted because of all of the stuff that we've done for the theater. I don't know if we're going to be purchasing artwork too this year. So do you have any questions on the 2025 year-to-date budget or what I have projected? Questions?
Does anybody have any questions? No? All right, well, thank you, Kelly.
Well, now we're going to go to the
Now we have to, now we go over this one.
So now, looking at the 2026 budget column for the draft, just wanted to give you a couple of updates on how I came with those. The revenues, we have new hotels coming in the future, but we're waiting for details. I don't know what year, what day, number of rooms, any of that. So I kept the increase in the transient guest tax revenue at a minimum, kind of being conservative on that. The interest rate or the interest amount is going down because our fund balance has been decreasing, and watch the market. We're anticipating that rates might be lower by next year. So those two things went down on that. So the budget and revenues looks like it's going to have a slight decrease. On the transfer of funds, we do a 5-year projection for the CIP, and we work with the public venue and recreation and parks on where they think they're going to be on different projects. So next year, we had listed $470,000 as a transfer to help with the stadium. The big part of that was going to be the parking lot was going to be updated. They also have an HVAC system. There was going to be a replacement of all or part of the wall, and then there was some concrete work. So I'm going to work with Bill and see if that number is still good, but it was originally slated to be $470,000 for next year. The next one is charges for contact services. We got $80,000 in there. We're going to have a new round of sculptures that'll be coming in next year, so that's a $40,000 that will be encumbering for that. Jennifer did update me that they did a new bid for the holiday decor, and it came in around $37,000. So I just kind of rounded that to 80 in case we have any extras or replacements or anything like that for now. We do not have an event determined at this point, so we're just putting the $50,000 in there for a placeholder. There's a couple of ideas that are out there. Some are less, some are more than 50,000. So when Jennifer is able to get more detail on that, we'll be able to make that determination if it needs to be higher or lower. Advertising, I don't know. We were going to do a market RFP. I'm not sure where that needs to be budgeted. So it may go in with the marketing or advertising. I'm not sure. Patrick, you might be able to help me with that later. Yep. So, again, the software cost was taken out for 2026. On the $15,000 for the healed home improvements, we were finally finishing that up tuck pointing of the chimney is the last section to be done. So that's the 15,000 there. The 50,000 is an estimate for the construction of the U.S. Space Force Monument, which design is being done this year. So we haven't seen the design, so we're kind of just putting a placeholder in there for the construction cost. And I did not put any potential art purchases in the 2026 budget. When I went back and looked at all of the costs that we've budgeted and incurred for the theater, I figured theater is another form of the art, so I wasn't sure how we wanted to do that. Plus, with the requests that we've been seeing lately, I wanted to make sure that we were open to consider all of them. So, and I just have a list here of additional requests that we need to consider was the Veterans Museum. At our next meeting, we will see a request for the O'Fallon Historic Preservation Society is looking for funds to expand a grant. There's the RFP for marketing, and then the Rail District with their request today. So those are the 4 things I have that aren't in next year's budget at this point.
Okay, perfect.
Now, do you have any questions?
Right?
Kelly, appreciate all this information. The middle column, MYBA, what is that?
Mid-year budget amendment?
Oh, okay, mid-year budget, yeah, okay.
Okay. Does anybody have any other questions or comments about the budget?
One more thing I have for you attached. You'll see a packet. It's from Eunice, and it says next year's budget detail report. This is what our system puts out, and this is the detail you get. If you need additional detail in any of these categories, let me know, because we can add detail to this and break down the pricing. Not too much nickel and dime, but we could give you more information on some of this stuff. Or break it down a different way. So just let me know if you need more detail on any of these. And if I can't provide it through the system, we will provide a spreadsheet that might be able to give you the detail you want.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly.
Welcome.
All right. We are going to move on to our next line item, which is our marketing consultant. This was kind of brought on with after our 5 ideas that we all collaborated on, that we now feel like it would be a great idea. And that was one of our 5 ideas, to have a marketing consultant to kind of help us on where we should, kind of what our goals are with tourism here in O'Fallon and what would make the most sense on our focus with those ideas that we have for the community. So I will once again defer this to Patrick, if you can speak to our marketing consultant RFI, please.
Yeah, sure. One of the things that came out of the 5 Ideas initiative or exercise was the better understanding where some of our marketing dollars are being spent, or how we can maybe better concentrate our marketing dollars to promote greater tourism activity in the city of O'Fallon. And so I think the initial thought was the creation of a RFP to go out and solicit actual proposals, but I felt like probably the best place to start in this is maybe a request for information instead, to kind of gain interest from these particular experts as to, is this a worthwhile exercise for us to undertake, and get some range of costs that this project might, and we might incur on this project, so we can then plug those monies into the budget. And so this particular proposal that you have in front of you, 2-pager, my good friend AI helped me make it, and he or she is a lot smarter than I am, and also a lot faster. But I think what I would like to do with everyone's approval is to go ahead and release this RFI for the next 30 days and potentially have, before we meet on our next budget meeting in August, to have some indication as to, one, if there's interest in assisting on this, what potentially their strategy might be, and then a cost range of what that might cost for those services. So happy to answer any questions.
Anybody?
Who do we send this to? Yeah, where do we send this out?
We are identifying a list of marketing consultants that my department works with a marketing consultant. We've done a couple of RFPs for marketing services in the past, but we would also look at in the yellow pages, Callie, if you remember the yellow pages, we would look in the yellow pages for marketing consultants.
And the deadline date is going to be August the 1st? Or,
No.
I mean,
Probably seeing today is the 23rd. We would probably put August 15th,
okay.
possibly.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any questions about this? Okay. Other than that, then I will need a motion and a second to approve this policy that or to be able to approve us moving forward with this. So if I can ask for that, please.
Motion by Pirano.
I'll second it.
Okay. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion stands. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any closing comments to make today's meeting?
I just have one. We need to vote to have this special meeting in August that we will be able to present a final draft of the budget, because it's not one of our normally scheduled meetings.
Okay.
I believe it's going to be August 27th.
Mm-hmm.
So I motion for a special meeting on August 27th, if I can do that.
Okay. Do we have a second? Okay.
I will second that motion.
All right. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion stands. Thank you so much. Anybody else have any closing comments? No? All right. Meeting is adjourned.